Tell me when y'all ready.
Go ahead.
Yeah, DeCaro, story of the game, set the pace, was outstanding from the beginning until when we took him out. And then Dalton Pence came in and threw great as well. It's a really good lineup. Only 2 walks, 12 strikeouts. And we played clean defense. Thought our guys played a complete game. Big swing of the bat by Parks Harber. They had a tough. That was a tough guy. He's 6'7". It's a tough angle. We still manufactured a run there with Gavin hustling to third base. So that was a good complete win. We'll flush it and be ready for a tough one tomorrow.
What was the key to him bouncing back from that state outing and also the Virginia outing?
Yeah.
Both of those were tough.
You know what? He's a tough kid. Like, he's not one you really have to talk to. He's got that it factor. I know he's young, but you know it when you see it. That's why he reminds me of Alex White so much. Just very similar makeup, tough. I thought he showed that 94 at the end, which he's capable of doing. And that's your hope this time of year. Like, okay, we preach here, take care of yourself, and we should be trending up. I think some teams might get tired this time of year, but historically, our strength coach, Coach Gass, does a great job with our guys, and we start ticking up a little bit this time, so that was really good to see. I thought he got better, too, when he needed to make a big pitch, and he made it. And he had his off-speed going as well.
You said that going through the lineup the third time is the hardest for a starting pitcher. How did you see Jason really set himself apart and be able to work through that third time the lineup?
Yeah, just being able to throw an off pitch whenever he wanted, because he's got that 90-plus in his back pocket. The changeup was good. He threw sliders, when he needed to for a strike, and he's also got the curveball. So he threw some really good changeups tonight with his arm slot against lefties, especially if you look at his splits. He's been pretty dominant for the most part against righties, and lefties, it's not like they've been great against them, but they've been better than righties, so they worked hard this week in the bullpen on that changeup and just being in the zone more and not getting behind in the count.
Any hesitation to bring him out for the 7th and then the 8th?
No, not at all. This is the time of year where your guys, if they've done what they're supposed to do, we've taken care of them. I mean, the pitch count's not the big deal. It's more how they get to that pitch count and how much rest they have. And he had his full, what do you have, extra?
No, yeah,
Right? Yeah, he had an extra day. So I didn't think they were going to play those Thursday games.
Right.
But 6 days, I mean, these kids nowadays, they should be able to go out there and throw 120 pitches like it's nothing, as long as they're not throwing 50 in an inning.
But this has been his most impressive outing, because this team was averaging more than 8 runs a game.
No doubt, yeah. You know what? At the end of the day, the guy on the mound, he's a neutralizer. He equalizes the team in a heartbeat, and our guys know that. That's why the game the other night was good for us, to have to manufacture some runs and get some bunts down and that type of thing. So, I think the kid's a horse. I think he's special. I think he's got a chance to be, special for a long time, and we're lucky that he came a year early, that's for sure.
Did you have any conversations with him after that state game?
Nope. Just keep working. And, I go down the bullpen all the time, a lot of times, just to watch these guys throw bullpens, and I enjoy that part of being a head coach, but I was a pitching coach. If anything, just forget about it, move on, and be ready.
It seems like here, the last couple weeks or so, that you can really see visible improvements with Gavin there at third base. And there was 2 plays there tonight, the diving one, but also the one where he backed off that ball to let Colby get it. It seemed like that was a really impressive play by him. Just how do you feel like he's really just kind of taking those big steps?
Yeah, that's the toughest position to learn on the infield, the hot corner, and the more you're over there, he's a baseball player. It's just what he is, definition of it. He can play anywhere on the field, but still, that's the one position that is the hardest. And more reps you get, that first step is the key at third base. Do you drop step? Do you come in? Or do you stay where you are? So he's getting better with that first step. Made a big play to his left. Made a tough play on a fly ball. He caught it like this. But Gavin makes plays. If you pay attention to wherever he is, that's why we knew when we recruited him that, hey, this kid could play all over the field. He's played left field this year. He could even play first base if he had to. But I think he's going to end up being a really good third baseman, because I think he's going to be a big physical kid. But that's big for us.
I mean, you've obviously brought in Jackson off the bench a couple times to play third. But if he can show, as he's starting to, that he can hang in there through 9 innings, how much does that really kind of help you guys? Obviously, you can have Vandy or Johnny come from the bench. And
no doubt. I mean, you don't want to have to take anybody out because of defense, but sometimes you have somebody that's elite, and Jackson's still elite over there. He's made himself. He's got more range, a little bit quicker. And that's a credit to Jackson. There's a kid that played every day last year that hadn't put his head down and pouted. He just worked his tail off at third base. And we were talking as a staff today how good he's looked lately, too, MVP, and we need that because you just don't know. You know, you got to have a guy off the bench. You got to have the guy that can play multiple positions. But yes, you know, I challenged Gavin and said, hey, you're going to be the reason I take you out. You got to get better defensively, and you have to work at the same level defensively that you work in those cages, because that's where all the kids want to be, is in the batting cages. So he's taking that challenge to heart.
What about the position your team has put itself in now? Duke lost tonight, so you got a 3-game lead in the Coastal. I mean,
yeah, you know, that's not something that I look at. Dave informs me. We do give Dave Arenas the hardest time. He informed us before the state game that if Pitt lost, we were in the ACC tournament. I said, Dave, that's not our goal, but we just joke. We joke about it all the time. But again, you know, we're just trying to. I know it sounds cliche, but I've preached it this year more than ever. Is really being process oriented. I really believe it works. I think outcomes can be distractions if you let them, and that's why if you stay with that, you're able to get past a bad loss quicker, and your head doesn't just go. Because it's going. I mean, that was a good. We played complete, but it'll be really hard tomorrow. They're throwing their ace tomorrow, and they didn't throw their guy at Parliament that had been on Friday. So just keeping the guys like, hey, understanding how to be here today helps us. But that's I learned, the hard way. One of the years we didn't make the regional, I think it was 15. You know, I'm really paying attention and hoping this team wins and that team wins. I'm like, you know what? If we take care of what we're supposed to do, we ain't got to worry about it.
any Folger update?
Not completely, but he's probably going to be out for the year. Yeah, so I'll try to give y'all a definitive answer tomorrow.
BT pulled out the shift a lot tonight. Do you have the guys at the plate change their approach at all, or look for any specific pitches when they go into that shift?
We don't change our approach, but you saw D'Onofrio. We've been working on it with Luke and D'Onofrio to be able to bunt against the shift. So they're not great at it yet, but if you work at it enough and you want to be good at it, you can do it. So the approach, no, you're still just trying to hit the ball hard, but I want to be able to lay a bunt down there if we need to.
And then Parks, not just a home run tonight, but a stolen base.
Oh yeah,
Which
we swiped one, big
Yeah.
part. We should have swiped two. Colby wasn't knucklehead. But anyway, we want to talk about that.
Just how important is having him in your 4-hole now that, he's not going to steal base every game.
Yeah.
But he has the ability to do
He's
it.
just, he's a hitter, man. But he works so hard at his base running leads and his secondaries. And he's been like that since he's been here. It's, refreshing a kid coming from an SEC program that's had that much success. If anything, when he first got here, he was like trying so hard to prove himself. I had to be like, hey, dude, just take a deep breath. We know you're a good player. But our guys see it. They see it every single day, his work ethic and how good of a pure hitter he is. But he takes pride in the little things, and he's gotten way better at first base. That's just a credit to him, the type of kid he is. But he's a good base runner, and if a guy's slow to the plate, he can steal, for sure.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
y'all. See y'all. See you tomorrow.
Sitting 26.
Hey, Parks. Did you hit that homer over the trees?
I honestly didn't look, to be honest with you. I put my head down as soon as I hit it, and I'm not sure though. I think I got it pretty good.
What'd you hit?
I think it was a change-up. Yeah, I had a feeling they were gonna get a change-up there, and wouldn't say I was sitting on it, but it's kind of an intuition.
Going back to, I asked Coach about the steal. How much do you work on maybe the things that aren't your strongest suit? Pure hitting, that will be your strong suit. Maybe not stealing bases. How much do you work on that in practice?
Yeah, I think you see it a lot, especially base running, is sometimes the best base runners aren't always the fastest guys. And I'm not saying I'm a great base runner, but I understand that I have to work a lot harder than Vance does because I don't have the pure speed that he does. So I take pride in that. Really, especially when I'm in score position at second base, I understand that I have to get a much bigger secondary to give myself a chance scoring than a speed guy would. So it's something that I take pride in for sure.
And we've kind of talked about how Gavin has evolved defensively, but how do you see yourself evolving defensively, coming from a third baseman to now playing first?
Yeah, I think just reps just make you better. And so I think I feel a lot better over there than I did game one because we played 40 plus games. So I think that's been really important for me. And you're involved. The thing about first is you're involved in every single play, and so you're always kind of got to be really locked in and focused. So I think that helps. Just the more games you play, the more reps, and by game 41 or whatever this is, pretty much anything over there has already happened. So nothing's new.
It has mostly it's not completely set, obviously, but you kind of have your 9 here at this point, it seems like. And there was always a thought that what this team could be defensively. It seems like it's kind of getting closer to that ceiling. Just kind of, how do you feel like as a unit you guys are?
Yeah,
progressing there?
I think when you just look across the field, it's just like really, really athletic. I would say maybe outside of me, honestly, it's like 7 really, really good athletes. But seriously, I mean, you go through each position. I mean, you have Casey, Vance, and D'Onofrio out there. I can't name a better outfield. And with Gavin, Colby, and Madera, the other infield spots. I mean, those are 3 really, really athletic guys who can play shortstop that are playing the other position. So I think it gives you more range, it gives you more confidence. And Luke's obviously really good behind the plate. He's handled catching every game as a freshman, really well.
How have you seen your development kind of this season? What Coach Forbes was talking about making that transition from SEC ball to here.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just got to learn so much more about myself as a player. Each year, baseball's funny because I've swung a bat 1,000,000 times. I've taken 1,000,000 ground balls, but you still feel like there's so much more in the tank. You want more. Like you're kind of never satisfied. And so coming here, they've just been awesome. Just working with me, in the fall was be who I am, but also what I need to work on, have a plan and work for it. And so just seeing myself develop, seeing myself kind of really, I think the biggest thing was just settling in, getting comfortable. That kind of frees you up a little bit as a player, and I did that really quick, and that's a credit to the coaching staff.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
y'all.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Great job. Jason, you've been 18 for a week now. You're really
Yeah.
matured, haven't you?
I wouldn't say that. I'd just say finally starting to figure it out and hit my stride a little bit.
What was the biggest difference for you coming off of that state game and the Virginia game to this one? What was the difference in effectiveness?
I think I just had more stuff working today. I felt like I could throw all 4 of my pitches for strikes, and that's huge. Definitely couldn't do that last week. Couldn't really make an adjustment, but I feel like today I was really able to. And also just trying to go after guys. I mean, guys behind me made some awesome plays tonight. It was great to see. It's great being out there and knowing you have that behind you, so it's really good.
What do you think kind of was the key to going through that lineup for a third time? Because that's the hardest time for you to see him for the third.
I think just mixing it up really well and still attacking. Throwing off-speed pitches for strikes was huge. And really just, like I said, just going after guys and trying to beat them one-on-one. And if they put it in play, I know the guys behind me are going to make a play.
Was getting the changeup over the real big difference today?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they had a lot of lefties, and that's a big pitch I throw against lefties, and it was great having that working today. So definitely worked hard this week to get better with that, and I think on the right track.
What are your emotions when you're going through a dominant start like you did tonight on the mound?
I think trying to stay the same as you would in any other start. You can't really ride the highs and lows. There's too many in this game, so really just trying to stay in the same spot you would be in any other start, and I think I did a pretty good job with that tonight.
I think this was the 4th time that you've come back out for the 7th, and obviously be able to get through it. I mean, how determined were you to kind of be able to get through that 7th inning at that point? It's been a little bit of a hurdle so far.
Yeah, some of the guys have been teasing me about that. Can't get past 6 1/3, but felt really good after. And then going back out there for the 8th too was a big nod of confidence from the coaches. I felt like let me go out there and go after guys, and maybe didn't end the way I wanted it to, but I think overall, felt awesome.
Yeah, 105 pitches tonight. Your previous season was 94, which was that VCU game, which feels like ages ago at this point.
Yeah.
The fact that you're able to go out there and throw that many pitches, and that you're at this point this year where, and you're probably thrown the most pitches you've ever thrown in a season at this point, if that's fair to say. How are you feeling physically overall at this point in the season?
I think this is probably the best I felt all year. Really focused the last few weeks on sleep, nutrition, and really getting after it in the weight room. Talking to some of the older guys, they said that's huge at this point in the year because playing so many games, especially as a freshman, you haven't really thrown this much ever before. So just taking a lot from them and, asking around how to kind of make it the whole way, I guess. But they've been really big with helping me out with that and giving me some advice whenever I need.
Did you ever throw that many pitches in high school?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of times, I take it.
Good amount, yeah.
How did it feel exiting in the 8th, walking through that high five line? You looked very excited.
Yeah, it was really good. The fans really came out tonight and showed up, and it was great seeing them there. Felt like, I would assume probably one of the higher attendances we've had this year, and having them there the whole game and having them be in it was huge. But coming out, it was awesome. Seeing the looks on my teammates' faces, hard not to smile after that.
Didn't look like you lost much of off your fastball, even at the end. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's a big thing that the coaches have been talking to me about, was trying to hold velo a little longer. And I think today is the first start where I've been able to as well. I think I hit a little bit of a plateau there in the middle of the game, but I know coming out there for the 7th especially, I had to really bring it there and try to get through that lineup third time. And just reaching back for a couple more if I really needed it. I felt like I was really able to do that today, and just goes back to trying to go right after guys and trying to beat them.
Not if you realize they were averaging more than 8 runs a game, and you didn't give up anything. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we don't really talk about other teams as much. We might go over a little scouting report, but we more so focus on what we're trying to do, and it's about us. So we know, all the guys know, if we can go out there and play our game and pitch how we can, we know we'll be in a good spot.
Grace, you have the last one.
Did you say anything kind of to yourself mentally when you went back out for that 7th inning to try to get over the 6 1/3 hump?
Not really. Just I feel like in the past that's something I have been doing. Kind of all right, just get through the 7th, just try to get through it. Whereas today I felt like I was able to just really focus in on the hitter and not think ahead. I think that's really big. I also talked to some of the older guys about that. After the 5th, they always say it's all mental. So really just going out there and staying focused the entire time, keeping my focus on the hitter, I think that was really big.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Happy
guys.
late birthday, Jason.
Thank you.